Mashed potatoes is a relatively simple dish present in many households, especially around Thanksgiving time. It's a dish that many are familiar with, a dish that, especially in America, is made specifically when there is something to celebrate or any other reason for eating a big meal. This, of course, applies to my own personal experience. Mashed potatoes is one of my favorite dishes on the Thanksgiving table. The principal ingredient in the dish is, naturally, the potato, a starchy legume that can come in many different colors and sizes. Potatoes are seen around the world as a staple food. Simple, yet easily adapted to many different soil types and climates, and an appropriate vessel for a wide variety of native cooking techniques and spices. Though we know the potato today as a global food source, this wasn't always the case. Before the potato was introduced to European colonizers, and later to the wider world, it was a crop cultivated primarily by the Incan people. The Incan Empire was a civilization situated primarily in the Andes Mountains and surrounding areas, which lasted between the 15th and 16th centuries. The potato was one of the critical food sources of the Inca. It was one of the few crops they were able to grow efficiently in the harsh conditions of the Andes Mountains, and as such, it was a major factor in their societal growth. Individual villages would cultivate potatoes so heavily that they would often produce individual breeds vastly different in size, shape, and color from even those in villages a few miles away. In addition to its survivability in tough climates, another benefit of the potato is its longevity. In the right conditions, potatoes can last for months. The Incans, too, were able to make use of this trait. They stored freeze-dried potatoes in warehouses for months to be eaten during the winter. Potatoes, occasionally, were even used as a form of currency and to pay taxes. In addition to its practical uses, the Incans also had an intimate relationship with its more spiritual aspects. The potato, perhaps in accordance with its earthly nature, was a symbol of fertility and was used in rituals of the same theme. The dead were often buried with a potato, and there were at least two gods dedicated to the plant. The better known of these is Axomama, or Mother of the Potato, depicted in various Incan pottery pieces, and mythologically the daughter of Mother Earth herself. However, in the year 1525, the Incan Empire fell at the hands of Spanish conquistadors, and the Incans' unique cultural and spiritual relationship to the potato was destroyed and systematically erased. The potato was one of the many benefits Europe reaped from the colonization of the Americas, and it was perhaps the greatest. Despite a long period of rejection, at the tail end of the 18th century, potatoes rapidly became extremely popular in France and subsequently the rest of the European continent. They were a nutritious source of food that could be grown and stored in some of the coldest climates, making them an especially major food source in areas such as Eastern Europe, Russia, and Ireland. Perhaps even more importantly, however, was their hardiness. At the time of the potato's introduction, farmers would abide by a crop rotation system, one which would leave fields empty after a crop had been harvested in an attempt to replenish the soil's nutrients. Weeds would then grow over the field, be buried, decompose, and replenish the field's nutrients. However, due to their hardiness, potatoes could also be planted in these nutrient-depleted fields while still helping to restore the field's nutrients, meaning that some of these previously empty plots could also be put to use, making crop rotation systems much more efficient. All of these benefits had such an impact on the European agricultural scene that they nearly doubled the food supply and consequently led to further rapid growth and development that helped push the world into the industrial era. Today, potatoes remain a staple food of the cuisines of both Europe and the Americas. They are grown typically in the large monoculture commercial farms that modern agricultural advancements benefit most. From a consumer standpoint in America, they are among the cheapest vegetables available on the market. However, the distribution of the potato still remains limited. The accessibility of farmers markets and healthier foods remains often out of reach, especially from poor and African American communities. Though not all do, for those who do have access to fresh produce, they are an excellent and easy source of nutrition. Culturally, though the Peruvian roots are largely forgotten, the potato is still a very significant ingredient in a plethora of foods, staying deep in our culinary traditions and cultures.